My name is Mark Phillips, and I'm an astronomer. Title is Director Emeritus of the Las Campanas Observatory in Chile, which means I'm retired. There are astronomers who are theorists who work from their offices and use their brains and computers. And then there are observers like me who go up and try to prove the theorists right or wrong. Well, when I showed up at Santa Cruz, it was a completely different level than San Diego State. For the first year, I was sure I was flunking out. But I didn't fail any courses. I've been living in Chile for close to 50 years. I've worked at a couple of the observatories down here, and I've also done a lot of research along the way.
Mark Phillips's work is used every day by teams of astronomers from all around the world. The Phillips relationship at its heart is quite simple. It says that the brighter a supernova explosion, the slower it fades away. So these are literally some of the biggest, most extreme events in the entire universe, and you can see them from millions or billions of light years away.
We actually look back in time when we look at objects that are more and more distant. With these supernovae, they're so bright you can look back to when the universe was half of its age.
The Phillips relationship lets us use exploding stars as distance indicators.
Actually got out graph paper, that's what we used back in those days. Plotted the peak brightness, and I found that the ones that dimmed more slowly were the ones that were the brightest.
This is really important because it means that if you can measure how fast a supernova is fading, you can work out how bright it should be, compare that to the brightness you see, and you have its distance.
You end up with a history of how fast the universe was expanding as a function of time.
When people applied the Phillips relationship, to their shock, they found out that these were telling us that the universe is not only expanding, but it's accelerating in its expansion. It's getting faster and faster.
And the only way that can happen was some other form of energy other than gravity. That's what we call dark energy. We call it dark because we don't understand it. It's actually sort of interesting that the Nobel Prize was awarded for something that's not understood. But it basically said, hey, there's something missing. That's really important.
And Mark Phillips doesn't just have one thing named after him, he has another as well. In a completely different part of astronomy, the study of supermassive black holes, there's something called the BPT diagram, which everyone in astronomy uses almost every day. And the P in the BPT diagram is Mark Phillips. So to have two things named after you is extremely unusual.